Tuesday, the Tuesday Tunes at 2 here on the New Jersey Today. Our phone number 732-545-WCTC or 1-888-545-WCTC. Very special guest live in studio with us is the very talented Gary Oleyar here on New Jersey Today. And again, today's special segment will be available for you to download as a podcast later on this afternoon as well. But boy, that piece of music that we heard before was just amazing. Almost it sounded like almost multiple bagpipes at one time. It sounded just very layered.
It's called an air.
Is that what it is?
And
just great technique. Wow, just amazing sound. So, but talk about some of the people you've performed with over the years. You probably got a lot of stories about gigs and sessions and shows.
On occasion.
Okay.
There's,
The ones you can't tell, Gary.
One of the deals was I wasn't very good for a long time.
Okay.
Because I started so late that I still played guitar right through. So I played a single act in bars until about 1989 or so.
Mm-hmm.
I just slopped around and playing barroom music and playing Margaritaville and Brown Eyed Girl.
Right.
Like so many do, and I learned a lot from dissecting songs that I liked, and just went from there to this kind of music to that kind of music. Oh, I like this song, let me play that. And it wasn't until I really moved to Nashville in about 89 or late 89, 90, that I heard Garth Brooks and Alan Jackson. And I said, I want to get me some of this.
Session work?
No. Those are very high aspirations.
Okay.
If you go to Nashville with the intention of becoming a studio musician, you will probably be greatly disappointed.
Okay.
So I just went down there with what I was packing, and hopefully see what shows up.
Okay.
I didn't, of course, we all aspired when you get to Nashville to do what they used to call in-town work.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would get yourself a local gig at night someplace, and then try to do as many sessions during the day as you could. Well, that's a very, very closed community at the very, very top.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of tiers down that I worked my way into a little bit. But for the most part, you're going on the road. That's just kind of what you can expect to do. If you're okay player and you're not a dope, you will get some road work. You'll get to play with some people. And you'll go to an audition, and all you have to do is pretty much learn the licks on the record and play them as close to the record as you can possibly do.
Wow, okay.
And if you can do that with some regularity, you'll get a gig. Man, I worked with some really great people. The first one I get was the very first road gig I went out with Jerry Reed.
Wow.
I know, it was like...
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
Oh,
man.
My standard joke about, somebody like that, it's
Wow.
like standing next to Zeus throwing lightning bolts. It's, now, it didn't last long because his health complications kind of crept up on him.
Yeah,
and he would go out and then kind of not go out, and I wanted to work a little bit more. And then I got some gigs with some Nashville, acts. I worked with Kenny Chesney, Pam Tillis, Doug Stone, a couple of other really, kind of came and went players or artists. And Kenny Chesney was he was kind of on his way up.
Yeah,
he wasn't as big as he has become.
Right.
When I was working with him, and I didn't stick around like a dope. Everybody has one of those stories in Nashville.
Did you say this kid's special? He's
Yeah,
going to go somewhere?
well, frankly,
Did you see that in him?
musicians such as myself don't think that way.
You don't, okay.
We look at it as how much work is it, and what's it going to pay, and is the check going to clear?
Gotcha, okay.
So we frankly don't care.
Yeah.
We just get in the stream and see what happens. And I was really lucky that I worked for a I got to work for a management company, and of course your friends kind of suck you along, and go, get this guy. I know we can hit it, and if you can hang, if you're like a decent guy, you'll get work. Well, I stepped into the gig of a fella named Billy Burnett, who was the guitar player who was after Lindsey Buckingham.
Oh,
they
wow.
hired Rick Vito and Billy Burnett to continue on playing with Fleetwood Mac.
That's right, yeah.
And they were both marvelous musicians. But it took two guys to take the place of Lindsey Buckingham.
That's true.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Billy was a really great singer and songwriter, and they made a couple of those really great records, after the big era. But nonetheless, I got the gig with him, and he was
Wow.
kind of doing a rockabilly, act that he wanted to make Nashville, so he hired me. I don't know what, and it was lots of fun. We had some marvelous gigs, a really good run that year. This would have been about 93, I guess.
Okay.
And we went on a Crown Royal tour that was sponsored by Crown Royal.
That sounds like fun.
And I did my level best to stay away from the Crown Royal. I couldn't always do it, but I did it most of the time. Anyway, I had a really great thing where we were playing with, it was us, Pirates of the Mississippi, Restless Heart, just a bunch of really good bands from the era, and we'd go out kind of like they used to go out in the the old days where there would be 4 or 5 soul acts on a bill.
Like a caravan.
Yeah, it was just great. We all got to hang together, and and I got to meet some of the other guys from the other bands, and once in a while, at the end, this guy would have a bit of a snootful, and he'd say, "Yeah, come on out and play with us," which is, because it's at the end of the tour. Who cares? Come on and take a solo. We had some great laughs and some really good fun doing that. And but if you will, my moment was I was working for this management company, and you will get more work if you're friendly with the management company than if you're friendly with the other musicians, because they'll give it to you in the neck.
Yeah.
The management company needs a body on stage who's going to be reliable and capable, and
Somebody they can trust.
somebody that So I got in with this management company, and they said, you want to do an audition? And I went, oh, okay, whatever. I said, I thought my reputation now would give me a bye into the finals. But as soon as I found out that it was Jimmy Messina, I went, oh, yeah, oh,
Wow.
buddy.
Nice.
Because, I literally, when Duane Allman died, that was the next guy that I listened to, because he brought a lot of other elements from other places that were just as captivating to me. And I said, even if I don't get the gig, I just want to be in the room with the guy, with a bunch of guitars, see what he wants me to do.
Yeah.
Well, I went in there, and everybody in Nashville was standing in line. It was everybody wanted this gig because they knew he was from L.A., which meant he would have paid a little more.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to be a typical Nashville thing where you just play this kind of thing and then you get in the car and you go home. Jim's music was much more challenging. Well, we had a play, and he said, all right, well, I want you to, Jim is a very soft-spoken guy, and he'd say, well, I want you to play this line. He would teach me something.
Okay.
And I'd go, and I fed it back to him like pretty good. And then he said, well, now play some electric. And so I'd play some electric guitar, and he said, oh. So I started playing one of his riffs, and he went, oh, is that what I did? Oh, yeah, cool. I said, oh, did I do it that good?
Wow.
I did it that way? And which was, I said, yeah, I learned it. Well, I was just grinning from ear to ear. And so I went home, didn't really think much of it. And I get the call. I get the gig. I'm now in Jimmy's new band.
What a thrill.
Oh,
Wow.
baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
So suddenly, my stock value in Nashville went up because
course.
everybody wanted it, and I got it. And this Yutz from New Jersey,
Yeah.
So I get the gig, and it lasted about, I guess, maybe a year and a half. And this is an interesting story. We were in a hotel room taking pictures
Okay.
for the new record that he had just allowed us to play on.
Okay.
That's a Nashville anomaly. They were, normally the guys go in and the studio guys make the records, and then they get some bunch of road pizza to go out and play the gigs.
Yeah.
So Jim put us on the record. I was just over the moon. So it was a record called, he remade some of his tunes and did some new ones. And it's Watching the River Run.
Oh, yeah.
His record, his solo record. And we were taking pictures for the record. And we're watching CMT. and he sees Joe D. Messina. And he went, "Well, boys, it's been a nice run. You're all fired."
Wow.
He said, "They're going to think I'm her. I don't have a chance." Messina with a J.
Right, right.
And he was absolutely right, because I
Wow.
went back into back into town, looked scrounging for work again.
Yeah.
And he said, and I said, "Well, who are you playing with?" And I said, "Well, I'm playing with Jim Messina." And they go, "Oh, you're playing with Joe D. Messina? Oh,
Oh,
good
my
for
goodness.
you."
Wow.
And I was said, my heart sank, because he was absolutely right.
Yeah.
So we
That's
did
unbelievable.
some gigs, we still did our little run, but we weren't trying to do a Nashville thing anymore.
Yeah. Oh my
And
goodness.
then,
What a
the
story.
gigs kind of came and went, and I, did some other stuff here and there. And then I got a phone call in 2005, and he says, we're Loggins and Messina is getting back together. Would you like to do the show? Because the fiddler on the gig, on the original stuff that they had done, who was like the last guy who had the gig, is now Woody Paul, king of the cowboy fiddlers with the Riders in the Sky.
Oh. Okay.
He ain't going anywhere.
Right, right.
Okay? Well, he gives me a call, and I'm standing in downtown Belfast. Well, we start rehearsal in 2 weeks. Oh, no! So I was crushed. So they got somebody else to do the gigs, and then I pulled back in at the end of 2005.
Okay.
And then he had me in on the rest of the tour for 2009. And that was absolutely great. I was in on the ground floor of that one.
Nice, man. Wow.
It was
Okay.
just
Wow.
terrific
What a
stuff.
story, man.
That's a
2:51
good
on
one.
New Jersey today on the New Talk Radio WCTC. We're going to come back and wrap up our special hour in just a moment, but let's do our contest. One note, name that tune for your chance to win the voucher good for the pair of tickets to see the show at the Forum Theater Arts Center in Metuchen. The show, again, called Respect, a musical journey of women, making its New Jersey debut on June 13th. And what we'll do is I'll play for you the one note, see if you can guess the song. The clue is famous female singers from New Jersey. So I need you to identify, let's see if you can identify who is singing the song. We'll play it a couple times, and if you can identify it, you're going to be the first caller, and you're going to win the tickets from there, all right? And again, the clue, this is a singing group from New Jersey. All women, all right? You ready, Dave? Hit the clue. All right, one more time. All right, give us a try. 732-545-9282 or 1-888-545-9282. Any chance you got one more, Dave, in you? Yeah, go ahead, one more. All right, first caller right now can identify who is singing that song. Famous singing group from New Jersey. 732-545-9282 or 1-888-545-9282. We'll come back, take your calls, and wrap up the Tuesday Tunes at 2 next.
Wow.